Yo, welcome back. Welcome back to Face Off Around the Culture. I'm your host, Horatio.
It's Vidal. What's going on with y'all, man?
Hey man, another great week in band. Happy to be back. Welcome back to another one HBCU Band podcast, man. How you been? How's your week going? How you think the week in band has been, man, for this past week?
This this was a fantastic week. This week has got the SWAC in particular in shambles. The band world is in chaos. We're picking out who's really supposed to go to the band of the year, who's up top really for real. We don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out this week, man. It's been a lot of changes, situations, ranking changes. Man, it's been a crazy week.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And that matches the topic. You said ranking changes. We were talking about the ESPN Band of the Year. So, we have a theme every week to kind of wrap up what we're talking about. And this week's theme is heavy is the head that wears the crown. Now, when I was thinking about this, right, because, this whole year we were talking about like this year is a great year for band, right? It's a great year. Like we're seeing a lot of great things from different bands. Bands are jumping tiers. And with that comes different expectations, different, levels. So I looked it up and it means that being the leader or the chosen one, the one with responsibility, it comes with more stress. All right. So
Mm,
that topic for the week. Excuse me. Yeah, for the week for the episode. Let's get into our band news. One big story, and that is ESPN Band of the Year. Man, decided to go with Southern University and FAMU for their tier one, right? And then Miles
hmm
College and Fairfield State for their tier two. Before we get into our thoughts on them, who do you think is this four bands that you would have chose? You know what I'm saying? Like what do you think about the
Wow.
selections?
Four bands I would have chose. Okay. So there's two different aspects, right? ESPN is a business. They're gonna be business oriented, and they want to put butts in seats and fill up the venue and have this to be a reoccurring event. Now, with that said, for FAMU versus Southern on that aspect, absolutely. FAMU has a big crowd, fan base in Atlanta that comes to travel. They're dedicated. They're always willing to show up to these events, these classics, Battle of the Bands, etc. And Southern is a premier band that's famous in a lot of places. People will travel to go see Southern. So for those reasons, yes. Now these my top two bands, even field show wise for the season. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think it would have been a cool thing stand wise to see, or even field show wise to maybe see a Norfolk State in the Southern, or maybe Jackson pulled out, so we're not gonna see
Mm-hmm.
Jackson. A&T was number one. Why aren't they there? Those are some things to consider. But as far as quality of event, I think for tier one, as they say, yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about tier two. To me, tier two is a more interesting pool. It's a lot of things that happened this year in tier two because there's so many amazing up and coming bands. There's so many amazing CIAA bands. There's so many amazing SEAC
Mm-hmm.
bands that we can pull from. So for that, I think there were some more interesting matchups we could have seen um, from that side. I would have put a Wilberforce over there, give him some
Mm.
shine, because
Right.
you're dealing with the tier two. We talking about butts and seats, right? Once you put the tier ones, everybody's just gonna come see that. And the other things, it's like you want it to be good, entertaining as well. But
Right.
let those tier one have enough draw to get people there. I can see a Wilberforce there. I can see a Union there. I think Virginia State in these settings does very well. It does very well at
Mm-hmm.
these Battle of the Band type of events. So those are the type of programs that I want to see. Shout out to Fayetteville State, shout out to Miles. No disrespect to them, but when I think about just pure entertainment value, I wanted some diversity and style for this event. What are your thoughts about these four programs?
I didn't even think about that point. It's like, of course, we always think about the tier one band being the tier that you kind of want to go see, right? But does the tier two bands, like, if they're really a draw, then you really have a good event. So with that being said, I think this is an easy dub for Miles. Like, I don't think that this is like a good setup for Fayetteville State. We were talking about Fayetteville State this year, like they're doing really good. They have a better sound. They're bigger, right? But they don't have the book or the body to go against Miles and win like unanimously. I don't think. Not even on the field. I don't think. Because Miles will
Mhm.
pull out a guy, and then what? You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna put
Right.
like this category. I feel like it's an easy dub for them to get. So with that being said, shout out to Miles because it's great for the tier one. I would have wanted to see Alabama State. I think Alabama State would have been a great Alabama State versus Bam,
Mhm.
a great battle. Um, Southern, I feel like Southern, like they do a good, like they're doing a good job. Obviously, they're not as good as they were in the past years, but they're still like they were a top tier band, and they can use that clout that they've had for all these years in order for them to push. Like people want to see them, like people want to see them
Mhm.
because they built their brand to be a band that you want to see. So they're going to bring in people, and of course, like we said, ESPN is a business. They're trying to get more people now. A&T was in it for I think the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Or like they, I know they won it one year. They won it 1 year against Jackson, and then FAMU won it.
Mhm.
So they've been in it for some time. So I'm not saying that that A&T would do the best job there because I don't think that they've done enough this year to be considered as one of the best bands. Now, people have been
Mhm.
using their metrics to say like, oh, because in this past season they've ranked them, 1 to 2, like one they've ranked A&T 1 and Southern 2. The same thing with the tier 2. But to me, it's like, okay, well, it's their event. One, if you want to be honest, like they can do whatever they like. The polling is made up anyway, right? So they can do whatever they want to. One, as far as A&T, again, I feel like A&T hasn't used their opportunities, their moments that they've had to get moments. We've said
Mhm.
nowadays you got to go viral at least twice in the season for you to get some traction. This is what it is, right? Fam, you did a great job against Jackson State. They got some clout at that battle. Like it is what it is. So that
Mhm.
that up. Southern, like I said, Southern is still a top tier band and it's right. So they're going to be able to, you know, pull people. So I don't feel like and I've been arguing, I see, I've been arguing with people, alumni of A&T, because I don't feel like they've done that much to deserve this spot. Now,
Mhm.
they haven't created moments like these other bands have. Fayetteville State, I mean, also too, they're also doing a good job of picking bands like Fayetteville State. It's like they're doing a good job. We haven't really seen that much for them on the field, but they're doing a good job, as far as picking people. I think that is good. Like I feel like this could be a good event,
Yeah.
a good show. What do you think?
Speaking about A&T, man, I think that something like this would not occur if A&T really put on stellar performances every single time these past 2 times they showed up to this event that were like undeniable. I don't think this would have occurred or would have happened because A&T does travel. A&T does have a fan base in Atlanta. Not to put this all on A&T, but shoot, it feels like it's on A&T to me because if they had like two amazing shows that you could pull from for this season, it'll be hard to deny them of that spotlight for this event in particular, in my
Man, you
opinion.
talking about shows.
Yeah.
Anti needs to win battles. They need to win matchups with other bands. The shows have been good. I mean, like the best show they've done to me was the show they did in MetLife Stadium at the Giants game. That was a good show, right? But they have win against people. Like, give me moments of Anti as far as like winning a battle, like to make a moment. They were just at the battle with South Carolina State and
Right.
Virginia Union, and they played "Drowning." You know what I'm saying? They only had 2 songs. They played the same song they were playing from Bandcamp, the Tyler the Creator song. They played "Drowning," a song that was played in 2017. So it's like you got to be able to win these opportunities where you're outside and you're seeing these other bands, like especially Anti, that's not even in the MEAC anymore and doesn't even get a chance
Right.
to see a lot of these bands. So yeah, man. Because I've just been seeing a lot of alumni from Anti. Obviously, I went there, so I see a
Yeah.
lot of alumni talk about this is on them or whatever. But I'm like, to me, I don't feel like the band has done enough to deserve it. These two bands that they have chosen, I feel like are great. And we shall see, man. It should be a good event.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think
I
that this
mean,
takes away from like I don't. What's the word? Legitimacy of this event, moving around the places and just picking who's hot right now at the end. Do you think it takes away
No,
from the legitimacy? Okay.
I don't think so because of the name and because like I mean, Auntie cares about it. All right, they care about like
Mm-hmm.
people care. Like it's still a good look for your band. I mean, is what it is. People love the people love the title of that's something that something brings. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Let's get some of these comments. Sean Harris says, "How are you comparing? How are you speaking on battle of the year? And don't understand the metrics for the actual competition. It's based solely on field shows. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying to to be considered a full total band. See, people aren't. You have to obviously sell tickets, but people aren't necessarily looking at field shows as the only thing. The band culture is not just caring about field shows nowadays, and that's where A&T is left in the past. I mean, I feel like I'm qualified to speak on this because I march for A&T. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying, but this is what I'm talking about when I say like you want the metrics to line up with the thing that A&T is good at, and I'm saying that what they're missing as a program for their brand is killing bands, is to be a band that's like when you're going up against South Carolina State and Virginia Union, everybody when they leave knows A&T was in this bitch, not Virginia Union and South Carolina State was the best bands. So I understand what you're saying as far as the field show, and A&T's good at field shows, but the band has to do better with their overall presentation when it comes to battling. They have to.
Well, I
Uh,
can feel that. Yeah, I can feel that.
yeah. So I get what you're saying, and like you said, because the what you call it, the rankings are based on the field shows, but nobody cares. Like the culture dictates what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say FAMU hasn't had a better field show than A&T, but they got chosen to go to this event. Why? Because they've gotten some press with the Jackson game and with the like people have been talking about them. So that matters. You know what
They're
I'm saying?
putting the
Like,
Stevie Wonders on the field,
right.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff matters. And so, yeah. All right. Let's move on. We had a great week, man. A lot of great matchups. Okay, also with this being said, let's get this out of the way too. The topic is heavy is the head that wears the crown. Not only did that make me think about the title, but this as well. Let's get Jackson State versus Jackson State out the way. Let's let that be the first thing. Because this is what I'm talking about, Sean Harrison. This is what I'm talking about right here. I'm talking about when you're at a high level of band, it's not just about the field show or just one aspect. It's about the whole entire thing. Is A&T comfortable with cutting their band in half and putting them outside in front of everybody? I'm sure hell no. A lot of bands won't be that comfortable. So that made me think about this. They're at a top level, whereas this is a different level of stress when you got your sophomores and freshmen outside. You like, damn, I don't want them to sound bad because everybody's recording them. Do you have enough faith in them? So that's not about a field show. It's about a total attitude of a program, and that is
Mm-hmm.
what talking about. Going back to this as far as A&T, what we were just talking about. That is what a lot of these bands are missing. Going back to this, this shows balls. This is like, I mean, it was rumored that Bethune-Cookman was supposed to come to this,
Yeah.
this event, and they didn't come. So Jackson State was, promoting it on their Instagram, thinking that it was going to be Bethune, but it was actually a split between their upperclassmen and lowerclassmen. What do you think about the setup and just the merge idea for a game?
I'm like, what? Everybody went to Jackson. So I'm like, what? This is going on, and I get the best of both worlds with this, man. The attitude, the aggression, quality on both ends. I don't got to worry about some poor song selection, and they was at each other's throats. And I'm just thinking, man, like, man, you are able to cut the band in half, not like 50-50 would mix together. Upperclassmen, sophomores, upper class freshmen, sophomores versus the upperclassmen, and still have great band qualities. I'm looking like the numbers. I'm like, this is in small band territory, but this is big band maturity type of sound. We still hearing the screamers. Trumpet's still playing full phrases. People, you're not hearing missed notes. I'm like, this is incredible through and through. There's no horn holders that they putting you on notice and showing you. And like we talking about balls of it, and it's like, and we doing this. Bethune not here. We don't care. Bethune not here. We gonna do this. And plus, we don't care. We're not in the band of the year conversation. We
Yeah.
are something different.
And that's what I'm
We just
talking
do
about,
us.
bro. And I'm sorry, I would keep going back to this band of the year
Yes.
thing, but that's what I'm talking about. A&T wants to be a corporate band. They want to be a band that wants to just have the trophies, but you're not winning the people. You're not winning the moment. You're not winning the event, and that you can't just slide in there because you got good field shows. Because no, this is a perfect example of a band saying they said fuck, they said F that a long time, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. We talked about that a long time. So they don't care about that title of getting to this. They care about being the best band that they can be, and it shows because no band, for the most part, is comfortable enough with doing this in public. Of course, we do this at practice people do this at practice all the time, but in public, whereas your band could get, killed. Your freshman class could get killed. Like this shows that they have trust in their students, and that the boom is going to be set up for a while based on the confidence of these students, on both sides. Right. It was hard for me to tell which side was which. I'm like, well, normally you would think the freshman side would be bigger because it's normally more, but I couldn't tell. Like it was a really good showing from Jackson. Really good, like balls. I would keep saying. Roger said freshman and sophomore took the zero. Shannon said cut the band in half, and the drum majors were running both sides. Directors chilling, love to see it. Exactly. Like it's like your band's on autopilot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and how fun that has to be, man. Just how fun. Band directors chilling, it's just you and the drum majors versus people in your band. Is heavy as the head that wears the crown, but they got an off day.
And it shows the depth of your book. Like, damn.
You can battle yourself. You can book something, you can battle yourself.
And they don't even, it didn't even really felt like they was running out of stuff. Like, hey, man. Shout out to Jackson, man. Great job.
Who
Great
they got
showing.
left? Alcorn? That's crazy, man.
Yes. Let's do, before we do them, let's do Southern versus Texas.
Okay.
Because I don't have that many notes on them. Okay. What were you expecting out of this band? I mean, of course, when we see these two programs, we know the director history, so we know the crossover, so we know it's going to be both of these bands want to show their ass, basically.
Yes.
So that's my expectation when I see this. Like, it's going to be a fifth, not full of OD crank songs, but more or less technical, a lot of like emotional songs, a lot of great. So, what was your expectations going into this battle?
I was feeling like, man, everyone's gonna try to pull something new out their bag, some magic trick, voila, something special, something unique, and it was gonna go along for that for pretty much the whole battle. We saw some very unique songs in this fifth, man. But coming into it, I was expecting just an attention to detail as far as we're gonna play some very smooth things, maybe some deep cuts, some things to have you singing, not just pure aggression.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I thought it was a great battle. I think Southern took it. Still a kind of a close battle. One of my favorite songs from Texas Southern was Car Wash. I thought that was good. And I heard Southern play Mad by Neo, which I haven't really heard a lot of bands cover, or I just haven't been paying attention. But I thought that was two good standout songs. But I think Southern took it, man. They just had more. Southern's still great, man. Still great, man. I mean, as much as people talk about it, they're not as good as they were. They're great, man. And I thought they did a great showing, man. Any closing things on that? What do you think about
man,
that?
I feel like
who do you think?
I had Southern edging it. Texas Southern really surprised me with this one. You mentioned Car Wash. I think their rendition of Try Again by Aaliyah was really good. I liked the Tony Braxton song that they played. I thought that was really nice. It's just when Southern really does this very well. When they play very broad, have the big thick wall of sound, they're playing together, and they're having in their unique styles. It's still very vibrant and powerful, but it's clean and put together. And at the same time, you have a lot of intricate things going on in the arrangement. And it also, to me, it sells a lot better when they're at home. It's something about when they're at home and they play those type of styles of songs, the presentation is just really great. And I think even though with this band, we know the band director history and matchup, that style and approach that Texas Southern took for this battle is a difficult win, in my opinion, at that stadium. Just because it allows Southern to fall into that bag. And when you in that corner, it's hard to get that same type of feel, theatrics, even just presentation wise. It's hard to replicate to take it over the edge. So, like when we
Definitely,
see bands that
definitely.
come into that stadium and get a dub, they typically take a more aggressive approach and then have some stylistic things in there. When you think about like Alabama State earlier this year.
Mm. Definitely, man. Great showing from both bands though. I feel like Southern took that. All right, let's move to Alcorn versus Grambling. I thought it was a good battle, man.
Yeah,
I
it was a
got the
pretty good
song.
battle.
Okay, so I saw one version of this where the first song, Grambling. I mean, immediately, like the first song was like, when you're playing a song and everybody just stops. Maybe what I'm saying, like it's like where it's like, what is going on? Like everybody's trying to think for everybody, and it just falls apart. This would happen. Right? They played Checkmate by Offset, and I mean it just fell apart. And so I seen videos where that was cut out, right? Because that
Oh
like if it's so
wow.
bad, they'll cut it out. So that was the case. So I didn't know that until I watched it separate. Shout out to me for watching two of the same battle. I don't know why I just wanted to, but the first song was different because Gremlin like messed up.
Okay.
So just to say that. So that was the first song. So so the first song for them was the song where they messed up. Easy dub, right? They just give you a round. The whole band is like terrible, right? So they play a Pussycat Doll song, Lights, Camera, Action. Great. So I didn't know that when I watched the first time. So I'm like, man, the first song
Yeah.
they play is a ballad, right? So they play "Spin It" by Summer Walker, which is a ballad, which I thought was the first song, but now it's really their second song. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have done that so early, but now I know the second song. So I'm like, okay, cool.
They got to recoup.
They got to recalibrate. So now I'm thinking, okay, is Auckland going to take the bait? They take the bait. When you take the bait, it has to be a better song, right? I think they do a better job. They play "Sensitivity" by Ralph Tresvant, which is a great arrangement. Our Core Man is doing something this year, bro. Where like their arrangements have like took their band up to another level, and they're playing this game where they just do two style of arrangements, and I want to see them throw in another one. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later. They've been doing the fast, like the crazy fast song, like up tempo, punch you in the face type of songs. That's their like in their bag now. And then just the overall, just punch you in the mouth crank songs, like just like songs like I said, they play "Sensitivity." They play later. One of my favorite songs in this battle, which is "Cooper Cove," a song by Lotto. Like that was just crazy. Like they just have a lot of those. We talked about that in the battle, I think last week, where like we just wanted them to play a ballad and they just wouldn't. Like they just have these songs. So that's their 2-song bag. It's the fast pace, and then these crazy ass. I mean, they just upped their arrangements over the past 3 or 4 years. I don't know what has happened with them,
Yeah.
but you can just see it. So that's something that I'm excited for them about. But yeah, I mean, Gremlin, they play "Champagne Life" by Neo. They play "Blow My High." I mean, like I said, so what I want them to add though, Alcorn, bro, give me something to dance to, bro. Give me everything. Got to be so serious. Like they want to knock you out over and over and over again. I'm like, bro, chill out, man. Let the girls dance a little bit. Like, you don't got to be so serious. So that's what
That's
I
not
want
gonna
them to
happen
do
at
is to get in that bag, man. Like we know y'all. It's like they want to crank you out the gym, and we get it. But
Yeah.
I just want them to like add a different layer of songs to it, like a bop. You know what I'm saying? They do the ballads, they do a power ballad, but just add some bops to your book. You know what I'm saying? And I think that'll help.
Right.
What you think about this battle, bro?
Man, speaking of Alcor, man, I was sitting there watching the video. I'm like, I can't wait till Mardi Gras. I'm like,
Yeah.
season not over with. I want to see this band in Mardi Gras because that's the type of feel and style and aggressiveness, and they just keep punching in the face. Now with Grambling had an excellent showing in my opinion. I didn't hear the first song. I watched the director's cut, if you feel me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't see the best up. So I was like, Alcorn's leading at home, like why? But that now that you let me know that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I thought Grambling had a pretty good showing. Um, as far I like how they sounded. They had pretty good balance. You know, Grambling has a lot of tubas this year, and I
Yes.
feel like they improve from game to game. And I think this was a pretty good showing. Not enough to take the win, in my opinion, just because of the overwhelming pressure that Alcorn had. But going back to what you were saying with Alcorn about not really having those things you can dance to, it
Hmm.
made a lot of the Grambling songs to me more refreshing. It
Right.
was like, okay, that was a little bit different. I eased up on the brakes a little. I mean, ease up on the gas a little bit, and gave me something different. And it was like, we're not about to go crank for crank with you, Grambling. We're not about to do that.
Hmm.
We're just going to show this unique style. And it just was um, really eye opening. I think you mentioned the Neo song. I thought that was pretty cool. The Champagne Life. That's
Hmm.
one of them that's on the edge. I was just like, do we let this pass or we just gonna let it
Right.
rock? You know.
Hmm.
But overall, I think it was pretty entertaining battle. I had Alcorn taking it. They just do a really good job of arranging very well, and I think that the prominence of their high brass this season is really good too.
Yeah, man. So a good part of what Grambling this year was their dynamics, man. They actually said they sound really good. Like like you said, a great showing from both of these programs. I'm having to give it to Alcorn, but like you said, it was refreshing, yes. But in my mind, I'm like, I mean, they're just nailing it down. So it's hard for them to win, but it was refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't enough for them to get the dub, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, great battle, man. Great showing. I don't
Yeah.
know who we picked to win. I think we said Grambling. This would have been a good showing for you guys, and it was. So this ticks them up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to both these programs. Any closing on this battle before we move on to the next?
Man, I think overall, I think the Grambling fans are just ecstatic about this season for Grambling, man. I see
Yeah.
them in the comments. They just really loving Grambling this year, man. So shout out to Grambling. I even see one that's like, we about to go in, buy you classic and win like we usually do. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Like,
Hey man, okay, we're gonna get there soon, but this will be something good for yo. And if we talk about moments, getting moments, all right, we don't necessarily have to win the battle, but bandheads have to see the moment and they have to see like you have to be able to. I feel like Grambling could do it this weekend coming
Mhm.
up. But great showing from both of them, man. Let's move on to I think our final one, which is who is Alabama State and Mississippi Valley.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Shorty, but a goodie.
Um, okay. I've been loving Alabama State this year. All right. I wanted them to give me some newer songs in this battle. They didn't. Right. So it was a lot of it was the same that we've been seeing, right? So I've been wanting newer songs from them. I feel like they've been easing back on the new songs. And that's cool. All right, so here we go. They started with Girl You Know It's True, which is one of my favorite songs in the season. I feel like it's a punch in the face. But to me now they've been playing it so much they need to move it to the zero. Like it's starting to get but cool. I said this song eats. Valley did good. I said Valley has a good band. It's bad hangovers. Another thing is Valley played Intuition, which by Jamie Foxx, but I thought it was good. It's on that
Hmm.
sample Red song. I've been wanting to hear a band play that, and it was terrible. It was not good. It was a song that I'm like, man, I don't know if it was the arrangement or just the time given to the song, but not the best. And like I said, I've been wanting the band to play that. Valley closing out their last song, Venus, I thought was great. I've never heard a band play that song. It's the song that they use on the Love Venus deodorant. I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. They played that song, and I was like, wow, I never heard a band play that great
Hmm.
song. They should have started the fifth with that. One of my favorite,
Yeah.
but for the win.
Yeah. I had Bama State taking it. I think it was just, sometimes you just have a better band, man. They didn't really play anything new. They went out there and it was like, we're gonna let Valley beat themselves and we're gonna play consistent and do what we do well. I think Valley, as far as the Valleys that we've seen this year, let them off the hook. I think Valley
Mhm.
let them off the hook a little bit by just playing things that weren't polished. Sometimes things just really not ready to come out the oven. You got to make sure it's ready and you serve it well before you just put it out there and it falls apart. And for that to
Yeah.
happen with two bands this week, like just putting things that's just not ready or that falls apart, man, it's kind of crazy.
With that being said, Shannon says Valley has such a fun book. Now that is very true. The
Yeah,
book
that's
is hella fun. It's very fun because the song choices are crazy. Like they're doing good with picking songs. Like initially picking songs that they're because that Venus song is so like who is playing this? So that's such like they do a
Mm-hmm.
good song selection. Shout out to Valley with them, but it has to be cooked in the oven, man, before it can come out.
Yeah, man. Another thing I like about Alabama State, I was looking, they got like it seems like they have a mix of UFOs and baritones within that section. I
Mm.
think it provides them with like a really unique sound. When I was looking, I'm like, some of these bells look really big, other ones look small, because they have
Mm-hmm.
a Bama State has a lot of depth in their low brass, but it's not like the typical UFO type sound too.
Yeah.
Has some like richer colors in there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a fan of like the full UFO style, how a lot of bands typically style it in a swag, but I like how they utilize the UFO section.
Yeah. I mean, Bama State, of course, they have a great trombone section as
Hmm.
well, so that obviously helps. But yeah, Bama State took it for me. Valley, I feel like you could have came out on top, man.
Hmm.
That infatuation was not it. But I mean, great showing from them both. Like that Venus song, like really did it for me. I think that's my favorite song of the night. Okay, man. So I'm guessing we both decided Bama State won that.
Yeah, yeah, I got Bama State for that.
Okay, band of the week. Before we move on to next week predictions, who is your band of the week, man? I mean, I'm just gonna throw some suggestions. I mean, um we got Alcorn winning this battle. We got Bama State. Still got Grambling, Southern, Jackson State. Hell, Fayetteville
Man,
State. we got some
goodness,
options.
man.
So, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it to Alcorn, man.
Mm.
I think that
Okay.
Alcorn's my band of the week. I feel like they just have a attitude, man, and their arrange. I'm really loving their arrangement, so I'm gonna give it to Alcorn.
Mm. I'm gonna give it to Southern, man. I'm gonna give it to Southern. I
Southern.
think that
Okay.
Southern, what they display, I think with Southern display, I don't think no really band out there could do it in the way that they do. Well, their phrase. I'm not gonna say their phrase, but if you
Mm-hmm.
know the Southern phrase. But I just think they put out a good presentation. They showed depth in their book, fresh material. Everything was well polished, put together. So I'm gonna go Southern. To refrain
Definitely, man.
from just leaning into my Jacksonian and be like, man, boom versus boom, that's the one.
Yeah, that's just gonna be
That
great.
that
Right, right.
that's I'm gonna refrain from that. Give it
Yeah, and
Southern.
that's just a different level of doing things. Like I just wouldn't even, that's kind of in a league by itself to do that.
Mm,
But again, that was very impressive. Okay, good. Your banner week was Southern, mine was Alcorn.
yeah,
We got some great matchups coming this week, and let's get into them. So let's get into our next week matchups. We got UAPB and Alabama State. Alabama State is going to
yeah.
mop over these guys. Um, yeah, Bama State. We got Soul Bowl, Jackson State, and Alcorn State.
I got Jackson, man.
It's gonna be interesting, man. I
I
got
think it's
Jackson as
gonna
well.
be
Like,
interesting.
it's gonna be good. Now we just talked about this, right? Give me one chill song, Alcorn. Give me one because I know like especially in this environment, I think it's at Alcorn, so they're gonna want to really push
Hmm.
and chill a little bit. Let's see what Jackson gives you a little bit. But see, they don't want to play that. That's hard to
Yeah,
do.
right. That's
That's hard to do
a
because they're gonna want to be on the attack. And I
hmm.
feel like if you're on attack against Jackson, they're gonna go for that you can't respond with. But that might be their game plan to win instead of just
Yeah,
trying to jump them. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Is yeah.
Um,
I think that's one of the best bet to me. If you try, I think that's the
yeah,
best way to go. Get some rounds in there because trying to play the popular songs or the oldies with Jackson State this year is just not gonna work out for you.
yeah, and playing your own game, like Shannon says,
Hmm.
Alcorn knows who they are as a band, and they stand true to it, right? So if
Right.
you do that, play the fast, you know what I'm saying, and just the crank songs in there, I think they'll be good. All right. South Carolina State versus Dell State.
Ooh, South Carolina State.
I'm gonna go Delaware State, man. We'll see this fifth. See how this fifth look, man. We should hopefully. I've been keeping up with the football games because Delaware State's coached by Deshaun Jackson,
Yeah, yeah,
and
man.
they're like 8-3 or 8-2, something like that.
Yeah,
so,
they got a good record, man.
Yeah, and I don't think people really thought that he would be as successful as he is this season. I thought maybe they thought that Michael Vick would, compared to Deshaun Jackson, but he's doing a great job at Dell State. And like we said, on the band side, this is great because it gives. So, yes, all right, we got Bethune-Cookman. Oh, Florida Classic, Bethune-Cookman and FAMU. I haven't seen Bethune at all this year, man. I'm FAMU. Norfolk State and Howard.
Norfolk State. Did you see the Morgan Howard this past weekend? If you didn't, I
saw some of it.
I think they played 1-2 new songs potentially.
Wow.
That was at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all check it out, man. If you like Norfolk State, you might enjoy that battle because they play all the typical Norfolk State things we've seen from them this year, and they threw in like 2 new ones at the end. Morgan is still in development, man. They sound good. They're just not all the way polished there yet, man.
Okay. We'll check it out. Speaking of Morgan State versus North Carolina
Central.
That's gonna be a good showing. Mississippi Valley versus PV.
Valley.
Wow. Yeah, and the last all of the CIAA games is over. They already got like a champion. That's all we're getting down to the wire, guys. The games are Alabama A&M and Texas Southern.
Ooh, Texas Southern.
Texas Southern, but this would be a good show. This could be a good show for A&M. I'm excited to see what A&M can do against Texas Southern. Okay, guys. Let's get back to our theme, which was heavy as the head that wears the crown, kind of centered around this whole ESPN battle, band of the year stuff. Look, like I said, maybe because I follow a bunch of people from A&T, they were the people that were going so crazy about it. But to me, this is why when we see bands like Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State drop out, they don't want the validation of these battles to make them feel good. So maybe that's what some bands need. Maybe some bands don't need to be chosen for this. Maybe it was good that Fayetteville State, the known smaller band, gets the attention. You know what I'm saying? Gets to go up against a band like Miles, and be able to jump tiers as we've been seeing from all these bands this entire year. So, and with the Jackson State battle, being able to have enough confidence to battle yourself, heavy as the head that wears the crown. It's a lot more stress that comes with jumping tiers and being a great band. What you got to close out for this today, man?
I'm going to say, big thanks to all the programs this year. Thanks to all the fans that participate in the show. I want to take this opportunity to dedicate this episode to my late mother, whose birthday was yesterday, because she was a big inspiration for me to join the band and always encouraged me to participate and do music. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here now providing this great show and this great material for you guys.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you guys again. FaceOff Around the Culture. You can follow the page at It's a FaceOff. You can follow our podcast page at FaceOff ATC. Follow me on all social media at Horatio Radio.
Follow me on Instagram at V for Vidal.
All right, guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
FaceOff is a media and entertainment network creating dynamic spaces for band culture and music competition.
And at heart, we are community creators that are focused on building innovative experiences to express our culture authentically.
Founded by Javon Austin and Rich Trotman, FaceOff launched with On the Kit.
So On the Kit is a 3-way versatile drum battle league where drummers compete head-to-head for 4 quarters for the title of the ultimate all-around drummer.
The champion himself.
That feeling right there is just what drives me.
amazing. I mean, your strength, your agility, the power that you play with is crazy, insane.
At face value, we're a multimedia and entertainment company where we want to be the go-to hub for all things of our band culture. So from show-style marching band to stage band to the drums and more. So when it comes to providing information, broadcasting, and engagement, we want to be that space.